You're listening to the Snyder-Collin Podcast, presented by FPP Broadcasting.
This week's episode is brought to you by XXXTentacion. He doesn't value your money, alright?
You're stepping into the world of his nightmares.
His music is aimed to cure numb your depression.
President. Oh, man. Yeah. As you can see what I'm on today, just like we on every other day, go get it. Get to the bag music, Cool kid trap music type shit, I'm a rare individual, cut off your hand if it's killing you. You gotta stand on your tippy don't take. I got cool like I'm Pooty. She give me tame, then I sleep on her booty. Bought me an out, turn that bitch to a cutie. I'm flying, I elevate. I got problems, I open case.
Anyways, hey everyone.
Hey, is that whose voice is that? Who am I hearing on the other end of this podcast? It's not me.
Little me.
Oh my gosh, he's back.
I'm your co-host, Colin Goody. I'm back from Beyond the Dead.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually flatlined a little bit.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you okay? Like, are you good?
Yeah, it was
You ready to pod?
Yeah, I'm ready to pod. But yeah, I was sick and, I was out and Daviel and Zeke the Geek took over. That should be Zeke's YouTube name.
Zeke the Geek?
Yeah, he covers pop culture and Marvel stuff.
Well, you know what he does on Instagram, right?
Yeah, he eats like habanero peppers and he's like sobbing and like tearing up and he's like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
This one's pretty spicy actually.
Pretty much. That's what he does.
I love spicy stuff.
I like it too. I don't think I like it as much as Zeke does. I don't want to do it on Instagram live.
I mean, I love like my hot sauces and stuff. Even when we went to like Firehouse today and they have that hot sauce bar, I picked one that I knew was going to be like excruciatingly hot, and it was. I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, I ate it and it was not even like fun. It was just like, this isn't even flavorful really to me.
Yeah, it wasn't. The one that I was talking about that I was at that other location was much better because it was spicy, but it was like doable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't imagine just eating straight peppers. Like,
no.
Yeah, that sounds miserable.
Which is the one that you get at the other Firehouse location?
I think it's called Fear. I think.
Interesting. Okay.
Fear? Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Gotcha.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So,
well, what do we even talk about on the show? Because like I
have lots of stuff that I can talk about actually.
Oh, good. Okay. Last week it was kind of funny because Dav and I, the previous day of doing the podcast, we were both just like walking to class, and I was like, "Man, like how funny is that Zeke?" And he was like, "He's hilarious," but then he made a good point. He was like, "I felt like Zeke was just funnier than both Dav and I combined." So, like, it was basically the Zeke podcast. And then, like, Dav and I were, if we weren't laughing, like, at what he was saying, we were trying, like, to get, like, funny words in. But, like, it wasn't, like, nothing was comparing. Basically,
Zeke's,
in a roundabout way,
Zeke's
he's, like,
good.
kind of too good for this podcast. Yeah, like, I was like, man, like, this is wow. Like, I'm playing up here. I'm playing up in the, like, having him on elevates the podcast.
Yeah, we need to have some more guests on.
Yeah,
have Zeke
we do.
David
I think
and
we're
all
gonna
that
have. I wanted to have him on again today, but like it was a scheduling conflict. But I think we're having him on next Monday.
He was put in a cardiac arrest after eating too many ghost peppers on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't know if he's been doing it anymore. I don't. He did like the one episode and was like, "All right, see you guys next week," and then ended the video. Like he was suffering.
To do.
Yeah, you're right. It's probably requires a recovery period. He was eating it, and then he's like, all right, well, that was pretty spicy. I'll see you guys next week. And that was it. It's beautiful.
Comment below what you think of Zeke.
I want to be his PR guy. You know what I mean? I just want to, like, make posts for him and be like, this week on the Zeke eating hot thing. Zeke the Geek's habanero pepper show. I almost said habanero
lime.
Yeah,
habanero lime challenge.
But this week on Zeke the Geek's fucking pepper show, he's gonna be eating, I don't know, a South Carolinian
if you, like,
fire pepper.
Just like take the peppers and like chop them up, dice them, put them in some chili. I'd eat them like that way, but not just straight up. That's nasty.
I think I would just eat it straight up because like the
Really?
chili is drawn out. Yeah, the chili's a drawn out process. I would just like to eat it all at once. Plus, there's nothing exciting about eating chili.
Chili's good, and I want to enjoy the peppers.
I don't think it would help you enjoy them. I think they're so hot that there's
use-
not really
you can-
any quantity that
You can use like a quarter of them. You don't have to use the whole thing.
Nah,
Just use a quarter.
I don't think so.
A quarter. I mean, yeah, it's still going to be equally as hot, but not with every single bite.
You hear that? That was my dog. He's being a fucking dickhead.
I think he needs help. Well, anyways, so I was sick.
Yeah, you were.
And in the meantime, I watched a lot of movies.
Yay.
Some of them old, some of them new.
A lot of them I haven't seen.
No.
So I guess this is just going to be you reviewing movies and me going, that's cool.
Yeah, it's my mystery bag of movie reviews.
Yay.
Do you
Let's do it, I guess.
So the first movie I watched was like as I was getting sick, and this movie probably helped.
Like helped you get sick?
Yeah, I could feel like my throat getting sore. I watched it on Amazon, and that movie was It Comes at Night.
Oh God.
Yeah, so It Comes at Night. It came out over the summer of last year, and it's pretty funny because I remember going down to Orlando with David, hanging out with Hunter, and Hunter was like, "Yeah, we should try to catch a movie while we're down,
Yeah.
while we're hanging out." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, okay." He's like, "Yeah, we should go see It Comes at Night," and I was kind of like, "Yeah, maybe. We should check out that movie, The Book of Henry. That seems like that would be pretty good."
Did you watch a book for
No.
We
We
didn't.
didn't. No, we didn't even end up going to see a movie.
You know
but
what?
it was
That's
just
that's a common trope with stories of yours. You're like, so we were at a movie and then we didn't see a movie. Like, and then we somehow didn't do that.
But no, it's funny because it's like, oh, like the Book of Henry.
No, I get
before
the
it was
joke.
even
Yeah,
released.
I
Like,
get
it was like, that could be interesting. It's from Colin Trevorrow.
Famed director of,
Safety Not Guaranteed.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Safety Not. Have you seen Safety Not Guaranteed?
Yeah, I don't remember anything about it though.
I remember thinking it was fine. They ended up traveling in time. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and it's got the guy from The League in it.
Yeah, it's got Aubrey Plaza in it.
Yeah, she's in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm looking for someone to time travel in the newspaper. I'm like, oh, look at this ad. Anyways, It Comes at Night. It came out over the summer, and everyone was like, oh, like it was mismarketed because people thought there was going to be like scary monsters coming out at night.
Yeah.
It was kind of marketed as some sort of like supernatural like creature feature, but really it's not. It's like a movie about like the evil within man's heart.
It's a psychological thriller.
Yeah,
Yes.
post-apocalyptic. And I'm going to be honest, I really didn't care for this movie too much.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I haven't seen it, but so like, is the it that comes at night? Is it like
It's like
fear?
Yeah,
or
the title's like a metaphor for like paranoia and stuff like that, like not being able to trust anyone during this like post-apocalypse world, which is kept really vague. And I guess it's like some sort of plague or something. People are getting like disease and stuff, and just I don't know. I just wasn't really that invested in the movie. I thought it was just kind of bland.
Isn't it Joel Edgerton?
Yeah, he's in it.
Cool. I don't know. I'm not that interested in seeing it. I won't see it, so don't even worry about it.
Yeah, I even remember during Black Friday, I picked it up and I was like, oh, maybe I'll buy this. And even then, I still put it back down. I was like,
fuck that.
Yeah, because like the movie, like it starts off with like, because it all takes place in this house, like in the middle of the woods, and it's this family, and they're like bringing their grandpa outside because he's clearly like visibly dying and ill with some sort of disease that I guess has like ravaged the nation.
Yeah,
and they like take him out back. They kill him and burn his body, and like that's the first scene. It's like, who cares? Like, like we don't know anything about these characters, and I feel like it was like trying to like, grab you by the first scene. It just felt like the movie was like kind of trying hard to be like a step above like other movies of that genre.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, it's more subtle, it doesn't have any jump scares, it's all psychological, and it just didn't do anything for me. So I wouldn't really recommend this movie.
Okay.
Unless you're really, if you're really intrigued by the trailers that it showed. It just didn't do it for me.
Well, if you were intrigued by the trailers that it showed, you'll no doubt be disappointed in this movie.
Well, yeah, that too. But I wasn't disappointed because like it was already like after it had been released. So it was like, okay, this isn't like a monster movie or supernatural movie or anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. I think that it's for an acquired taste of a movie.
I feel like it's for like cinephiles who hate like horror movies.
Fair enough.
You know?
Yeah.
Like people who are really into movies and they see it and they're just like, oh, it's just a bunch of jump scares. I hated it. It's not scary. Or like people who are like, I don't like the Insidious movies or The Conjuring. Then they see something like It Comes at Night and they're just like, oh, it was more subtle and, you know, thought-provoking.
Sure. Anyway, I'm done talking about this movie. Let's move on to a different movie that you saw. What is another movie you saw? Nate, just name one.
It's called Frailty.
I've never even heard of this movie.
It came out in 2002.
Okay.
It's actually pretty interesting.
What was it? Explain the plot.
So the movie stars Bill Paxton, who also directed it.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, actor Bill Paxton.
Yep.
It has Matthew McConaughey and Powers Booth. Do you know who Powers Booth is?
I do know who Powers Booth is. Yeah.
He died not too long ago, too.
He did.
Basically, it's like Matthew McConaughey, he approaches this FBI detective who's in charge of a murder case called God's Hand Killer, who's like a killer that's like come back after like 20 years. The killings have continued. And Matthew McConaughey approaches him and he goes, I know who the killer is. It was my brother who is dead. And basically the movie's told in flashback about when they were two boys living with their dad, who they have a lot of like admiration for. He's like a mechanic. In the town of Meat, Texas.
Meat?
Yeah, the town's called Meat.
How's it spelled?
M-E-A-T.
Really?
Yeah, Meat.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like Meat County or something. In 1979, too. So, this movie was before the whole Stranger Things 80s nostalgia vibe. This movie did it first.
Kill me.
Frailty. Basically, their dad, he has like this dream one night and he takes it as like he has like a vision and he wakes up his sons and he goes, I've been visited by an angel and God spoke to me and God told me that there are demons living amongst us and that we have to destroy them. And the youngest son buys into this and the oldest son is like, oh my God, my dad just like lost his fucking mind. So basically his dad, he ends up getting another vision and he finds an axe and gloves and he inexplicably gets like these names of people and he brings them to the house and butchers them in front of his kids.
Like, but the people?
Yeah.
Holy
yeah, and he
shit.
murders them and he's like, they're demons. And like, the boy, he wants to tell the police, but he just can't because it's his dad and his brother. And that's the base point. And it's pretty good up until the ending. The ending has a twist, and it kind of like
we're gonna do all spoilers here.
You want
really
to hear the spoil?
Sure.
All right. So it turns out Matthew McConaughey isn't the oldest son; he's actually the youngest son.
Oh.
And I didn't like that twist. And then the other twist is that like the people that the dad, like basically the dad was like right the whole fucking time.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Because you think this movie has, like, some sort of, like, not anti-religion, even though the son, like, who thinks his dad is crazy ends up hating God. He ends up growing a deep hatred for, like, Christianity and all that.
Yeah.
But it turns out, because before the dad kills him, he touches them. And then it turns out that, like, he was actually right. They were, like, people who were, like, you know, one was, like, a child molester. One lady, like, murdered her husband. I was like, really? Like he was right.
So he was he was being visited by an angel.
Yeah, essentially. And I was just kind of like, what?
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, it wasn't the best ending, but most of the movie was pretty good. It's kind of like a little forgotten gem, a cool horror movie, but just the ending kind of ruined it a little bit, but still worth checking out. It was on Hulu.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, but it's an interesting concept, and I think I already knew the twist. I think it'd been spoiled online, but yeah, Frailty, a movie that I don't think anyone knows about or remembers.
I certainly didn't. Can I give you a hot take real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Hulu has better movies than Netflix does.
Dude, Netflix. We were talking about it at work. How like Netflix, it really doesn't cater towards like any like particular interest, and it's getting kind of old. I rarely even use Netflix.
you mentioned that it was sort of like a safety blanket for a lot of people. They don't want to get rid of the Netflixes because, like, what if
it's like
something huge comes out?
Yeah, it's like a comfort thing because
Yeah.
a lot of people, don't even have cable anymore. They just need Netflix, and Netflix is all they need and stuff.
Yeah, but like Netflix doesn't really have that much anymore. I think that this is what I think Netflix is going to do. I mean, obviously they're getting closer and closer to this whole like Netflix channel thing, not really a channel, but like a streaming service. Excuse me. Specifically for like their products and like their TV and stuff like that.
They're 300 original TV shows.
Yes. And like they're little by little they're chipping away at the ties that they have to other studios, in that like they're cutting ties with like Fox products and stuff like that, like where they had Bob's Burgers, they don't have Bob's Burgers anymore. They had whatever, they don't have it anymore. They're getting rid of like The Office. They're getting rid of a bunch of things.
All their Disney stuff is about to be gone.
Yeah.
Does that include their Marvel shows?
I think that the Netflix Disney Marvel shows I think that those are funded by Netflix, so they keep those.
Well, yeah, like Daredevil. That would make sense that they keep them because those aren't really like.
Yeah,
those
but
are pretty mature too and like violent.
Yeah, but it's been questioned whether or not Disney is going to just buy those out and take them with them anyway.
Of course,
put them on their own thing.
I mean, nothing would stop them. Just buy them out.
Yeah, I mean, those shows are very successful for Netflix. They're probably the top earners for Netflix total. I mean, Daredevil in general was a really good. That was great for it. Like that, they're still seeing benefits from that, and like the Defenders, I think underperformed, but
other than the Marvel shows, I'd say like House of Cards and Orange is the New Black were also pretty like massive.
Yeah,
for
but
their
now
original programming.
True.
Even though House of Cards is dead.
Yeah, it's done. Yeah,
I'm sure they might continue with the season, but just not have Kevin Spacey.
I think that's what they're doing. Yeah,
I think who's in it? Robin Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they might make her the star. I don't know.
Blade Runner 2049.
Yes, of her most famous role.
Yes,
of all movies.
Yes,
Blade Runner 2049. Nothing else.
No,
she's never had any more iconic role.
No, she's been in House of Cards and Blade Runner 2049. That's it.
That's it.
Nothing
else.
Nothing.
No like movie to where you could like quote like anything that her character said.
Never. Anyway,
here's a hot take.
Give it.
Do you think Forrest Gump deserved to win Best Picture over The Shawshank Redemption and Pulp Fiction?
What a year that was for film.
I know. Yeah, I know. Right? Those three movies.
Yes.
Among others too, of course.
Yes, I do. Here's why. It's timeless. Whereas I feel like Shawshank is timeless, but it's not something like when. Well, I would argue that it is.
All three of those movies are pretty much timeless.
They are. I feel like Forrest Gump is just more timeless. That's Robert Zemeckis, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. There's something about Forrest Gump that I feel like if you catch both of those or all three of those on the TV, which one are you more likely to sit down and watch the rest of? I think it's close between Shawshank and Forrest Gump. You're not going to watch the rest of Pulp Fiction, probably.
Yeah, because it's going to be heavily censored.
Yeah.
At least like the language.
Yeah, but like not even that, but like the non-linear storytelling, stuff like that. It's hard to come in the middle and watch it. You know what I mean? Because like you'll be confused.
Interesting enough, you bring up if you were to watch one of these on TV, Shawshank Redemption like was kind of like a flop when it came out. No one went to go see it in theaters, even though it did get like the award consideration because critics saw it and they're like, "Wow, that movie's something else." It was TNT that helped like boom the movie because they played it like nonstop.
Yeah,
I don't know how many times, but they're famous for playing that movie on rotation regularly, and people just end up watching it on TV, and they're like, "Whoa!"
See, the first time I ever watched it, I watched it on TV.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember if we owned it or not. It might have been on TNT, actually. It probably was. I think Forrest Gump is a fine Best Picture winner among the three. Either that or Shawshank.
Forrest Gump is more quotable than Shawshank is. It's a lot more people remember that than they remember Shawshank.
It's more whimsical,
It is.
And a bit light. It's a crowd pleaser.
You're right. Forrest Gump is a great movie. I think it's a great movie. You can have whatever opinion you want to, but I think it's truly a special movie.
It's a modern classic.
is.
After seeing it like later, you kind of like it's a little melodramatic at points, but it's still a great movie.
Yeah.
The only person I know who openly doesn't care for it is Miss Dietzen.
Really?
Yeah, she's like, I saw it when it came out, and I was like, what? What's the big deal?
That's not a bad Miss Dietzen impression, actually. That's not terrible.
That's what she said. She's like, I didn't see what all the fuss was about.
I haven't seen Miss Dietzen at Hurricane recently.
Oh yeah.
There was a time there where we would see her often, sort of.
I think last time I saw her there, I don't fucking remember actually. It's when the storm was coming and Drew was stuck in standstill.
The storm capitalized.
Traffic.
I think that's the same time I saw her.
Miss Dietzen, shout out if you're listening.
She's definitely not listening.
Okay.
Almost certainly not. What else are we talking about? What other? Wait, okay, Hulu and shit like that.
Amazon has a lot of good movies on there.
Amazon does. They share a lot of movies with Hulu too.
Amazon, that's where I first watched a lot of like Italian horror movies. Oddly enough, they had tons of them. I think they got rid of them, probably because they had to, not because they were like, "Ooh, fuck it." But like, I watched like Suspiria on there. You can't get that shit on Netflix. There's no Dario Argento movies or any like Italian slasher movies, but Amazon had plenty of them. I've watched The Mighty Peking Man, which is like a Chinese King Kong ripoff. It was actually really fucking cool. I think Tarantino, his name is on the DVD. It's like Quentin Tarantino Presents, because he's a fan of it, because it's like that old style, like Toho looking, like, with like the city sets, that look of the movie, and it was actually a cool like King Kong knockoff, and that was on Amazon.
Cool.
Maybe like, can you find this stuff on Netflix, but it's just not like presented there? You have to like
they have
search
a lot. They have a lot of movies, but like they have a lot of shit.
But it's like 9 out of 10 times though, if you want to watch something, Netflix isn't gonna have it.
That's true.
So that's true. I was looking have to rent it, or just buy the damn thing.
Yeah, I wanted to watch Unbreakable with Alex, and I was looking around, and like no one had it. I was like, damn, that sucks that no one had this film.
Yeah, to stream at like your convenience, even though you have all these like subscriptions and everything.
Yeah, it just kind of, I don't know, it sucks. How did you watch Unbreakable?
I just straight up bought the Blu-ray, but when we talked about Unbreakable like 2 or 3 weeks ago, the more I think about it, I'm pretty sure I actually did see some of it on TV, because I remember watching it and being like, I remember the scene where like he's bench pressing and there's like the paint cans.
Yeah.
And like the scene where he falls in the pool, I was like, I think I've seen some of this. But I did just buy the Blu-ray, which was oddly kind of expensive.
Where'd you buy it?
Just Amazon.
Nice.
It was $14.99, which I was a little surprised at that price. I was like, really? Yeah. Thought it'd be like $8 or something,
Yeah. What other movies did you see?
On Amazon, I watched A Ghost Story.
How was that?
It was a neat little movie. That's my like critic quote for the box. If you're like looking at movies at Target, you pick up A Ghost Story at the bottom. A neat little movie. Colin Goody, the Snyder-Collin Podcast.
Oh my god.
It takes a bunch of like huge themes like life, death, the universe and stuff, but it does it in like a really humble way. And it gets like those ideas like presented in a really cool way. There's a sequence at the end where like it not discusses, but like visually shows you like the past, present, and future, and it's done really like well. And like, other filmmakers, it would probably come off a little too artsy and like pretentious and overdrawn, which this movie, it does have some slow scenes. Like there's a scene of Rooney Mara eating a pie for like 4 minutes. She's just sitting on the ground, like eating a pie. And like, it's oddly kind of relaxing at first, but it's just kind of like, all right, come on. I didn't think much of it when I first heard of it. I was kind of like, just like, oh, it's like a sheet ghost. It's a nice sheet.
Really?
Yeah, like it's like a massive sheet, very thick. Like the ghost, like visually, like is really cool looking.
Interesting.
Like on a visual level, seeing like the sheet ghost, like kind of like walking around. It's really like interesting and like visually cool, you know.
Yeah.
So
Visually cool.
Visually cool, not visually stunning, because it is just a sheet ghost, but visually cool.
Visually cool. I'm down with that.
I wouldn't like watch this movie again.
No.
But it was worth a watch, and it had some cool concepts that were executed humbly.
Am I crazy, or is Casey Affleck in this?
Yes. And
okay.
And he is under that sheet, too, reportedly. It is not like a stand-in or anything.
Do you ever see his face?
Only when he's alive.
Oh.
Because it's just like this man who has this, I guess it's his wife or whatever, loved one. He dies in a car crash, and he becomes a sheet ghost, and he goes back to the house. And he kind of like watches her for a little bit. And I don't want to get into like what else happens, but he's just like a ghost in this like location. And
interesting.
It's really cool. It kind of reminded me of like something that would have like a post-rock like soundtrack to it, because this movie did have like interesting music. So a lot of visual storytelling. And a lot of times there's no dialogue at all. But it was a decent surprise.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was just kind of like, it seemed kind of gimmicky.
Yeah.
Because of the aspect ratio and like, it's a sheet ghost. Get it?
Wait, the aspect? Is it like 4:3?
Yeah, but it's rounded.
Huh.
It's rounded at the ends like an old photograph. So it was like, seems kind of gimmicky.
The whole movie's like that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was my worry, was that it was gimmicky. Have I said gimmicky enough yet?
No.
Because that's what it kind of seemed like. Oh, it's a sheet ghost. How hipster and artsy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. A neat little movie about past, present, future, life and death and love.
I'll give it a watch.
Rooney Mara has a funny name too.
Yeah, she does.
I guess I'm a bit biased for the name Rooney.
I guess you are.
Yeah, Rooney. Gotta love that.
You do?
Rooney, I love you. Oh, thank you.
So it was a neat little movie. What was another movie you saw, Colin? Tell me another.
I don't think you've ever heard of this movie. I didn't actually really watch this one. I just kind of put it on because I remember seeing it in theaters when I was super little, and I thought it was hilarious. It's from the director of Ghostbusters, and it's basically Ivan Reitman trying to make a new Ghostbusters movie. And it's called Evolution. It has David Duchovny, Orlando Jones, and Sean William Scott in it, and Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore?
Yeah,
I love Julianne Moore.
Ethan Suplee is also in it, too. It's like Ghostbusters, but aliens. Meteor crashes, these scientist guys who are like college professors study it. There's little organisms that are evolving. They turn into quirky monsters that are taking over. And it was just really lame. It came out in like 2000, I think. And like, Sean William Scott is really like obnoxious in it, because this was after he blew up in like movies like American Pie.
Yeah.
And Dude, Where's My Car, where it's like playing a quirky, obnoxious, like idiot stoner guy who makes funny faces and does really embarrassing things. David Duchovny is not a funny actor at all. So don't have him in your comedy.
Yeah.
And Orlando Jones, he was the 7-Up guy.
Really?
Yeah, there's a time period where he was like the spokesman for 7-Up. But yeah, it's basically Ghostbusters with aliens. It came out, it flopped, got panned by critics. Not that like it's like offensively terrible, it's just really lame.
Yeah.
Like it's just not very funny. Dan Aykroyd pops up towards the end of the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
In Ghostbusters uniform?
No, I think he's like the mayor of this town.
Interesting. That sucks though. I hate it. I hate that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a funny concept having David Duchovny, of course, because he was in the X-Files, being in a comedy movie about aliens and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I still hate it,
Evolution, they had a spin-off cartoon in a Game Boy Advance game.
Gross.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, did I watch anything else besides the one movie that I want to talk about that I really liked? Hey Jacob.
Hey.
What do you think about the Twilight movies?
Oh, I think they're fucking silly, but I don't watch them. I saw the first one. That's it.
Yeah, I did too. You want to know something?
Yeah.
I actually read the book.
Really?
Yeah, back in like 2007. I read it before it was a movie because I was like, man, this Twilight thing, it's big. This book must be pretty good. So I got the book and I read it, and like, I remember being like, oh, this is okay. It's about vampires. And like, you know, it's like, oh, it's like in high school and stuff. Like, basically, I was like buying into the hype.
Yeah.
Because it was already a series, and like the critic quotes on the book, like, I think it literally said like the best book of the decade.
Oh my God.
Or something.
Wow.
Yeah. But,
did the decade like just begin at the time?
I guess. I don't remember anything about the book much. Like, you know.
Written by Stephanie Meyer?
Yeah, because I was like 13. I didn't know what good writing was, you know.
Yeah.
And then I read most of the second book, and then I stopped because I realized it was going nowhere. Took a book and a half.
Alex has read them all, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty fucking popular books, especially with the ladies, too.
Oh, they loved them.
Yeah, because of that romance.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie came out, and of course, brought us Robert Pattinson. Well, I guess he was in Harry Potter first. He was in Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
But
is this your segue?
Yeah.
Oh God, this is a lame segue, Colin.
Talking about Twilight.
You could have just said, "Hey, have you seen Good Time?" You could have just done that. Because I haven't.
Well, no, I want to bring in a Good Time because I wanted to talk about Robert Pattinson a little bit because you know, a lot of people are like, "Oh, the Twilight movies are terrible. He's terrible. Kristen Stewart's terrible," and like they're really not. You know. Like, I don't really blame them for wanting to be in a franchise.
No.
That made them really successful and, like, really world famous. It's actually kind of smart, even if the quality is bad. You know, it's nothing wrong with getting your name out there and your face. That way you can do other projects.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't write the movies.
No.
So, like.
No.
Because I feel like if he did, it'd probably be better. But, have you ever seen an interview with Robert Pattinson talking about Twilight?
Yeah, he knows that it's terrible.
Oh, he hates it.
Yeah, he laughs and he's just like, oh, I mean, I haven't like specifically watched one recently, but I kind of know what you're talking about, where he's just like, yeah, they're fucking garbage.
Yeah, and I feel like he doesn't like that he was in those movies.
No, because the choices that he's been making have been really interesting. Like, he's worked with, I think he's been in like 3 David Cronenberg movies.
Huh.
Which is pretty cool, you know? I
feel like it is.
I don't know if he auditioned, he was like, maybe, you know, like, oh man, I just want to work with Cronenberg. You know, I'm just a big fan of body horror. Dead Ringer's one of my favorites, Mr. Cronenberg. There's a picture of Robert Pattinson with Death Grips and Beyonce.
Wow.
Yeah, and Robert Pattinson recorded guitar for a Death Grips song that was
cool.
Sampled. Yeah, and in the liner notes, this is how everyone found out when their, I think, 3rd album or 4th album came out, Government Plates. In the liner notes, it's like, you know, the 3 guys, their names. Then underneath it, it's like Robert Pattinson, guitar on Birds, and people were just like, "What? Like, what the fuck? Like really?" And like, it turned out to be true. He was like playing guitar, and Zach Hill recorded it on like his iPod, and was like, "Yeah, we'll use it for a song," and they did.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
So,
Death Grips has a picture with Beyonce?
Yeah, it's Robert Pattinson, Beyonce, Zach Hill, and MC Ride.
That's actually insane.
Yeah, it's an amazing picture.
I want to look it up.
It's really hilarious. Basically, what I'm trying to get at is that maybe Robert Pattinson has some artistic integrity. You know, trying to pick his projects accordingly. Because then he did the movie Good Time, which I picked up on Blu-ray at Best Buy because I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna buy the movie. I want to see it.
Oh my God, this is a real picture.
Yeah, it is.
That's amazing. Okay, so I see Zach Hill, I see MC Ride, I see Robert Pattinson.
Who's that
man,
lady?
I see Beyonce.
Who is she?
She's so beautiful. There's like another dude.
Let me see. Flip.
So fucking tedious,
Let me
Colin.
see this picture. I don't know who that guy is.
Alright.
Probably like Robert
Is
Pattinson's
it that guy
brother.
or that guy? That's Zach Hill.
That guy. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah. Well, that was MC Ride looks like Freako.
Freako?
Mm-hmm.
A little like a mix of Freako and Dom. Maybe it's just the
just kind
beard.
of Freako.
Just he looks like Freako.
Yeah.
I wonder how Freako's doing.
He's doing okay from what his Instagram says.
Oh, oh, you follow his Instagram?
I do.
Didn't he get married?
What? I don't know if he did.
I think he got married.
So we used to work with this guy named Freako. His real name was Raphael, but it's not important. His name is Freako.
Yeah.
And he created a sauce that is called the Freako sauce from where we work.
It is legendary too.
It is a very good sauce.
It's like
an
Ed's.
incredibly
It's
good sauce.
basically like Ed's sauce from Good Burger, except we actually got to like taste it and eat it.
Yeah.
It's like that sauce that drives everyone wild, you know.
It turns you into a Freako.
It sends your taste buds into a flavor vacation.
It does.
Sometimes I want to take a flavor vacation.
Me too.
Why can't we take a flavor vacation?
I don't know why we can't take a flavor vacation. Gosh.
Man, now I'm hungry.
Me too.
You want to get some Freako wings after this?
I'm fine.
Sit down and be like, hey everyone, it's us. The guys who directed Good Time, they're called the Safdie brothers.
Really?
Yeah, they're from like Brooklyn and whatever, and they've made like a few independent movies, and then Good Time, I guess, is like not their second film, but their second movie that had like recognition, and it premiered in competition at the Cannes Film Festival, and it's really good, really, really, really good.
How good is it?
It's amazing.
It's really good.
It's quote unquote fucking amazeballs.
Who are you quoting?
I don't know. I've heard
Garen?
that somewhere. Amazeballs. It's probably from like
It's classic Garen.
It's probably something from like The Office.
It's Garen.
I gave you the digital copy for Good Time.
Yeah, you did. I really need to watch it. I almost watched it last night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know what you would call it, like a crime thriller, I guess. Basically, this guy named Connie, played by Robert Pattinson, he's basically just like, you know, he's just like a shitty, like sleazy, street smart, like scumbag guy.
Yeah.
You have like whenever you're watching him, you get the sense that like the clothes he's probably wearing, like he probably like stole off of like a Subway or some shit.
Yeah.
And him and his brother has like mental issues. Like at the beginning, he's like talking to like a therapist. He's like borderline, like, you know, like special needs basically. And they try robbing a bank, and they fuck up, and the brother gets sent to Riker Island, which is like an infamous prison in New York. So the rest of the movie is just Robert Pattinson trying to find a way to get money to get his brother out of prison. But his way of doing this is so like bad, and it's just like crime after crime and lying to people, and he's just like digging himself into a hole.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, you know, it's like maybe his idea is like, okay, I just need to keep breaking the law, and eventually like everything will like come clean or something.
I like it.
And I watched the special like making of, and the directors, they like were pretty open about it, about like what the title means and like what the movie's about. It's basically about people who like get out of prison and they just immediately go right back to it. Because there is another character who is kind of in the same situation as Robert Pattinson, who just got out of prison. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, he's going right back. And good time is like prison slang for like when you're released.
Yeah.
Or something.
Good time credits.
Yeah, for like good behavior.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yep, that's what that means.
This movie was exciting. It was never boring. I feel like if you were to say, oh, it was just like stupid and like the guy just kept making dumb mistakes, then like you're kind of missing the point, because this isn't like an intelligent guy. He's more just like street smart and like scummy. And it's kind of like how these people in like New York City who don't have anything, and you know, they just have street smarts, so they have to like utilize their city and like their surroundings to get what they want. and, like lying to people, trying to get them to help them because they have nothing except the city, which I thought was kind of cool considering I don't live in a city. Well, a major city.
It's very poignant.
Yeah, but this movie,
Poignant.
this movie, it's like the movie that makes you want to make your own movie, which is a great thing. Where it's like I want to make something like that.
Yeah,
Because it felt real, like real locations, probably pretty low budget. There's a good poster of it that's like illustrated where it's like says "Good Time" and Robert Pattinson. He's like lifting himself out of a bottle, and it's like illustrated. It makes it look like it's like a screwball comedy. And this movie's just awesome. See if you can find that poster so you can get kind of like a good idea. The mentally challenged brother is also played by one of the directors.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And he does a good job. He's not in the movie much, only really at the beginning. But he does a solid job portraying someone with some sort of mental issue.
Huh. Robert Pattinson looks great in this movie.
Yeah, he is really great in this movie. A lot of people say that he's like unrecognizable if you only associate him with those Twilight movies.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So
I see it. Yeah, that's hilarious. That's a great poster.
Yeah, it is. It fits the movie too.
Hmm.
This movie kind of reminded me a little bit of Pulp Fiction because of one particular scene.
Yeah. What is the scene involving?
Just a character explaining how he got into the situation that he is now. And it's told very fast and like just kind of gave me like that vibe. Didn't remind me like that movie like specifically with like plot or characters, just like same type of like vibe.
Yeah.
Cuz like scummy people, like sleazy, criminals.
I'm with it. I'm with it, dog.
Yeah, I really recommend it. Definitely one of my favorites from 2017. Would have brought it up in the looking back episode, but I hadn't quite seen it yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely watch Good Time. It's not going to get any award consideration, but this movie doesn't really need it.
Fair enough. It speaks for itself.
Yeah, it's good by itself. Like if it's not nominated for Best Picture, what a snub. Like that'd be really cool, but it's probably not going to get it. Speaking of awards, it's kind of hilarious how we were like, yeah, 3 billboards. It's just going to be that movie that gets nominated for everything and it's not going to win. And now it's like the front runner for Best Picture, Actress, and Supporting Actor.
Yeah. I mean, I think we already talked about that a little bit. We were like,
with the
wow,
Golden
we were
Globes.
fucking wrong. Yeah.
And I've heard more people discussing about how it's not very American at all. Because it's like but that was the point and the intention, trying to portray like a small town or something like that through the eyes of someone who doesn't live in America. Is this movie
Is
like
that the point? Was
it,
that the point? Because that doesn't seem like it's the point.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. Is it like a black comedy or something? Because the director did like In Bruges and 7 Psychopaths.
I never saw 7 Psychopaths.
Have you seen In Bruges?
No.
I heard that one was really good too.
Was 7 Psychopaths good?
I'm not sure. I don't even think I ever saw a trailer for it, but I remember hearing about In Bruges a lot because I used to watch Secrets Out, hosted by Leonard Maltin.
Really?
Yeah. I used to watch Reel's channel religiously, channel 238 on DirecTV. It was like Collider and like AMC Movie Talk before that existed.
Yeah.
And some people, only one is still like doing that stuff. Her name was Christy Lemire.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the YouTube channel What the Flick?
I actually have.
It's like a subsidiary of the Young Turks, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a subsidiary, but it's all like movie reviews. And she used to be on Reel's channel, and I was like, oh, I remember her. I've seen her before.
That's cool.
But yeah, Reel's channel. One show was called The Big Tease, and for 30 minutes they just played upcoming movie trailers.
Really?
Yeah, how hilarious is that? They used to
That
be
is
a TV
amazing.
show before, trailers just dropped on YouTube.
I love the past. Isn't
I know.
it beautiful?
So quaint and humble.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. What a pod this is going. What a pod this is.
Like those Tide Pods that people are eating, apparently.
Yeah. Good for them, you know?
You
Do
want-
whatever you want.
You want to? All right, I have a hot take for you.
Sure.
I think memes are stupid.
That's not really that hot of a take.
They're just annoying. I don't think they're that funny. Whenever you go on the internet, that's all you can see. People sharing them, people tagging them in memes.
When you say, like, memes, give me an example of a meme.
Like the Tide Pod, you know, stuff like that. Anything that is, like, captioned and taken out of context, something that is massively shared around the internet. Sometimes it's just a video, but it's, like, presented as a meme, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Those I get sick of, you know, because it's like, I don't know, I'm not that amused by them.
I'm with you.
I'm a meme queen.
Wikipedia defines a meme as an idea, behavior, or style that spreads from person to person within a culture, often with the aim of conveying a particular phenomenon, theme, or meaning represented by the meme. It acts as a unit for carrying cultural ideas, symbols, or practices that can be transmitted from one mind to another through writing, speech, gestures, rituals, or other imitable, yeah, I guess that's the word, imitable phenomena with a mimicked theme. So
Wow.
that's way long of a definition for you.
Here's my interpretation. All right, first of all, it has to be on the internet. A meme only exists on the internet.
Okay, fair.
For at least for what we call memes. Maybe back in like the 50s, a meme would be like putting doing a prank or some shit, like a kick me sign.
It's funny that you say that, because there is something it's Kilroy was here was a graffitic.
So
it was
memes
graffiti that became popular in the 40s and existed under various names in different cultures and countries. That's really weird. What is Kilroy? Kilroy is here.
I think of like fucking Sticks.
Me
when I
too.
think of
Wait,
Kilroy.
Mr. Roboto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, is that what it's based off of? A meme from the 40s? Just like, oh yeah, memes. They've been around for like a millennia.
I mean, it's
Were
looking
there-
like it might be.
But basically, it's like a picture taken out of context, usually captioned with something, putting it into the context of what is either silly, sarcastic, or something that makes you like chuckle because you're like, wow, that's true. Hence, hashtag relatable.
Yeah.
Those are the memes that annoy me, is where someone posts it and it's like, oh my god, this is so me. You know, and it's just like, I don't know. People seem to love them. People who get on like Tumblr and all that stuff. Were you a Tumblr kid? Were you a little emo kid with a Tumblr page? I can't imagine you were.
Nah. No, I did not have a Tumblr page. But that would be cool. I guess people just like started drawing like Kilroy, which is like this little cartoon creature, and like saying Kilroy is here or was here.
Ha!
And like no, but like someone wrote it in the VIP bathroom of like Stalin's compound.
Oh Jesus!
And like
the most historical meme.
And like Adolf Hitler, someone wrote it on like American equipment during World War II, and the Germans captured that equipment, and
It was
Adolf Hitler was like, "What the fuck is like Kilroy? Like, what is that?"
Was he like? Is he a
Someone
Jew?
was just trolling. That's kind of amazing.
Please
actually.
tell me he was a Jew. And they're just like, we're not sure. We're trying to figure it out as quick as
We
possible.
don't even know if it's a man, Adolf. He's like, if it's a Jew, I'm hype.
They're like, Kilroy was a silly cartoon character. What, like Felix the Cat or something like that like era of cartoon. I see that being shared a lot. If I can change the topic a little bit. Like how fucking like bizarre and creepy cartoons used to be.
Yeah.
And like surreal and shit. It's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
Like the Betty Boop and like all that stuff. I don't know much about classic cartoons, but I see stuff about that people share. All right, but then there's like people who are, always on top of like memes, you know?
Yeah.
They have the quote unquote dank memes. They might be, you know what? In a lot of cases, these people are probably making the memes themselves. Someone has to make the memes.
You're right.
What type of person, you know? Well, I guess it doesn't take very long to make a meme. Literally, you know,
It's
get a picture,
yeah.
type on it. Maybe
Well,
to think
like,
of the meme.
that's like your classic like iFunny meme there, like, but I think like to create a meme like in pop culture, like something to trend on Twitter, it's relatively hard because like you got to get like the grounding, the retweets, the
It's like-
likes,
It's basically just lightning in a bottle.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though some people do like, I mean, like they've obviously become famous for it. It's easier to do it on a like second or third time, whereas like getting it the first time is hard. Like it's, you know, it's tough. It's tough to get something to blow up when you have maybe like on average 2 to 3 retweets, and then you blow up enough to where it's like you have like 150,000 retweets on this thing. Like that's fucking wild.
Your meme was just so clever that it captured the imaginations of everyone on Twitter, and they just had to reshare it.
Well, the thing is, you don't have to
that's
be
pretty
clever.
cool.
Like, I mean, like it is cool, but like oftentimes it's just stupid. I feel like Twitter is a little bit smarter, and then like the things that trend on Twitter are actually pretty funny sometimes. But you know, a lot of Twitter has taken a very political angle, whereas like iFunny, I don't know what iFunny does anymore. Did you ever have iFunny?
Was that just an app and you could
Yeah.
like take pictures and add text over it real quick? And
Pretty much. I think that like iFunny would feature what they would do every day. They would feature 20 posts, and so you could like post anything. They do 20 posts, and each day you look at the 20 and you'd be like, oh, cool, and it was always a rush to get to the first comment or whatever. And like they used to be like, some of them used to be funny, or at least I used to find them funny.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like
Yeah.
if you're in like 13, 14, 15,
Yeah,
you probably
it was-
found a lot of amusement
Yeah,
out
it
of
was-
that stuff.
Yeah, it was certainly geared toward that. And like now, I don't know what it is anymore. It could be terrible, could be awesome. Don't know. I deleted it, so not something I miss.
Fair enough. Jacob, you might be wondering, well, Colin, since you think you're so fucking cool disowning memes, then why do you follow 2 meme pages on Facebook?
You follow meme pages on Facebook?
Just one, and they're really specific. One was
Wait, you said you follow 2. Do you follow 1 or 2?
just one, but I'm going to talk about 2. One of them I just got kind of tired of.
Fair enough.
One of them was Anthony Fantano shit posting. They're honestly really funny. Just pictures of him, and you know, it was great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah, quality
Making-
content.
Yeah, a lot of them really were funny. And then the other one is a Twin Peaks meme page.
Of course it is.
Firewalk with memes and that. But that's like, those 2 things are really like specific about like just one thing.
Yeah.
It's where it's not just like completely random. It's like, oh, the joke is Anthony Fantano. The other joke is, Twin Peaks. And they're usually, a lot of their posts is like humor that you'd only get if you watched the show. Half of it is like that. Half of it is just kind of like silly stuff.
I do like a couple meme pages on like Twitter that are geared toward like the prequels.
Oh yeah.
Like there will be like misquoted prequel scenes, and like they just put like random like just like random closed captions on like a random scene from the prequels, and that's pretty funny. There's I guess a meme page. It's not really a meme page, but it's called like emo Kylo Ren, and it's like Kylo Ren.
I think I've seen that somewhere on Facebook or something.
It's pretty funny. Like the guy running it's really quite humorous. I think a lot of people just retweet his popular ones because those are like a little bit dumber. But like the ones that are actually good are pretty funny because it's just like, oh man, that's accurate. That's accurate.
You also have people who ridicule others for being into like basic memes,
Yeah, you mean
People-
like the Velociraptor meme where it's like, oh, like I didn't think of that or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, stuff like that, or like the with his fist up.
Yeah.
Or the Lord of the Rings one simply cannot meme.
Oh, God.
A meme with a minion on it.
Bad Luck Brian.
Oh, is he the geeky school picture kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the obsessive girlfriend one with the really big eyes.
Oh, kill me.
You know, those are really just like really popular ones, though. It ain't their fault.
No, it's not.
And then you'll see articles where it's like, I became a living meme and how it changed my life. And I was like, God, that's a scary concept. What if you become a meme?
It is. It is kind of a scary concept, and like they have no help over it. You know what I mean? Like they can't help that. That sucks.
I send stupid pictures of my face to Gaia because she thinks they're funny, and she screen captures them and she turns them into memes.
Really?
Yeah. With my permission, I guess.
Yeah, I mean you're giving consent, so
So I might end up becoming a meme. Maybe
it's kind of my worst fear to like wake up one morning and look and see like a picture of me in a public place has been released and I've been turned into a meme.
And everyone on Twitter is just shitting on you.
Yeah, they're all
like
just
at
fucking
Jacob's
flaming me.
At Jacob's wetsuit, it's like a smiley face with a gun next to it. You get hacked. Someone ends up at your house and they're like shaking, and you're just like, "Oh no, what has happened?" Kind of like the beginning of The Sixth Sense.
Oh, gotcha.
Like something like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I was like, what? Like, am I going to get murdered?
Yes. Yes, that is what
that's
I
not
was
fun.
implying.
That's not funny, Colin.
So yeah, memes, they're rotting my brain. And that's why I don't like them. I'm being subjected to them, and it's all my fault.
You know what's been rotting my brain, Colin?
Comics.
LSD.
Are you fried, Snyder?
Yeah, I'm
Are you
fried.
fried on psychedelics?
Super.
Is that why you keep telling me that the moon landing was fake?
I have not been telling you that the moon landing is fake.
After your enlightenment?
I have not been telling you that the moon landing is fake. Okay. Let me fucking sit up for this.
Oh no, what have I done?
Oh, I cracked my neck. Hope people can hear that. Let me straighten this shit up, because I've been half-assing this pod, if I'm totally honest with you. The moon landing's not fake. You don't want to know why? Because the government fucking sucks at everything they do, and they could not keep that hidden. That is not a thing that could be hidden. It would be widely known fact if they did that.
I don't believe that I don't believe in that conspiracy.
No, I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, I have faith that that we've made it to the moon.
Yeah. It's not even that far away. You know what I mean? Alright, I think it's more likely that maybe we faked like one of the moon missions. Maybe the first one. But we've been there, like, since. I did like 8.
I mean, like, the broadcast, though. Like, that one. Like, that being fake. Like,
you believe that?
No. I'm talking about, like, that conspiracy.
Oh.
Like, that's the one that I mean when people say the moon landing was fake, is that specific one where, like, people were, like, sitting on their TV, and it's like, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You don't believe that?
Believe what?
That was broadcast
real?
Is fake?
No, I think it's real.
Yeah, I think it's real too. Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know, some people
think Stanley Kubrick did it.
Yeah, and think that The Shining is a metaphor for the moon.
That's one of the stupidest theories for that. That is very dumb.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous how like detailed it is, because it's like I kind of see your point, but it's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, and like I don't believe it, not even for a second. No.
They're like, the forbidden room is 203. The moon is 203 miles away from the Earth's atmosphere or something, or 302. And Danny's wearing a sweater with an Apollo rocket on it.
Yeah, because he's not like a child who would be thinking that that's a cool thing, you know?
Yeah, his mom is like dressing him. And he's walking across a carpet pattern that is like shaped like some NASA buildings or some shit. Like the octagonal pattern. Whatever.
And it's like, so did Stanley Kubrick get those carpets made to look like the build? Did he design the carpets? It's a silly theory. And like the tag on the room says it's an anagram for moon room.
Yeah, that's it.
That's so dumb.
Moon room. What that documentary? I actually kind of enjoyed it because
I loved that documentary because like almost none of them were probably true. Because it's like, especially the guy that was like, this movie it's that moment that I saw that can of whatever the fuck behind
The
him.
Indian,
the
Indian on the can.
He's like, this movie is about the Native American Holocaust. And I was like, is it? Like, is it about the Native American Holocaust? Probably not. I think it's about going mad in a hotel in the middle of a fucking snowy Colorado.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know. I mean, like, not to take anything away from the American Indian Holocaust, or the Native American Holocaust. Excuse me if I've been saying American Indian. Didn't mean that. I know that's politically incorrect, and I apologize for saying that. Native American Holocaust. I just don't think The Shining is about that. That's not what I don't know.
Yeah, that's not the intention.
No.
Really, like, when it comes to the book's about, like, the evils of alcoholism and, like, writer's block. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, alcoholism is, like, a huge factor in the book. In the movie, like, they mention it,
Yeah, he drinks.
Yeah, and Shelley Duvall's like, he hasn't had a drink in 3 months.
Kubrick. What is The Shining about?
Me?
Yeah. What do you think it's about for you? Or are you saying it's about you? Because I can promise it's probably not.
I am Jack Torrance. I am, God, what's that? What's his name? Danny's Imaginary. I am Tony.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It's just a really executed psychological horror movie, supernatural, with cool scenes, and great acting, and great directing, and that's why I love it. I don't love it for its, like, subtext, for things that probably weren't intentionally, like, there. I think it is alluded that the hotel's haunted because it has to do something with an Indian burial ground, and that may be brought up more in the book.
Okay, well then yes, it is about the Native American Holocaust. My mistake. I think that the best part of that documentary was the part that was actually dissecting what the differences between the book and the movie were.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. The book's a different beast.
It is, but like I think that notifying the differences and explaining why Kubrick did what he did is kind of the more interesting aspect of the documentary. Like the fact that they drove, like, I don't know, a yellow Beetle or like Volkswagen there, and then like they pass by like a really like a crushed red one, and it's red in the book. Like the Beetle that they drive in the book.
You mean when Dick Halloran is traveling and there's the car wreck, and it's the car from the book, the model. Yeah,
and that's Kubrick's way of saying, this is my story, like I'm going to tell the story I want to tell. That's a decent insight, I think, that
it's an interesting detail.
Yeah, and the only reason he would have put that in there is to say that, like, is to say, that's the book, this is the movie, they're different things. Like, and I can see why Stephen King would be pissed, basically.
I actually love that they're different, because then you get to enjoy them for two completely different reasons while they tell basically the same story.
Yeah.
Another movie that did this is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
What is that based off of?
It's based off of a book by Ken Kesey.
Okay.
And the book takes place from the point of view from the Native American man.
Oh.
In the movie, he's certainly in it, but it's not through his perspective with, like, a narration over it. But in the book, the Native American man, he also sees people, like, in a warped perception of, like, who they really are.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't imagine if they tried doing that in the movie. That would be insane.
Yeah.
So that's another great example of, like, a book and a movie being different, but still you can enjoy them for different reasons.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. I'm trying to think. Can you think of a movie really recently that did this? I know Moonlight kind of did this. The play is a lot different. There's a lot more characters and nonlinear storytelling in the play. In Moonlight, Black Boys Look Blue. But then for the movie, it's just a straight narrative, one character.
Yeah. Honestly, I can't really remember any off the top of my head.
Yeah, I know.
That's kind of a tough question.
Yeah, it really is. The Goosebumps movie. Considering it wasn't even based off of any particular book. It was about it was like a movie based about like what people know about the franchise, which is like meta but stupid. In the movie, Goosebumps is a book series written by R.L. Stine. People are like, but that's what it literally is. And people are like, yeah, that's the movie. It's literally...
And they're real.
Yeah.
The monsters are real. R.L. Stine was not really a good writer at all. He was just writing about monsters that were actually real. Or was he bringing them to life?
Wait, are you talking about like...
In the movie Goosebumps.
Oh, he had a magic typewriter that whatever he typed, it could bring someone alive.
Fuck that.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the real R.L. Stine. I was like, I wouldn't call him a bad writer, because what he did was actually really great, getting kids to read.
Mm-hmm. Read horror that wasn't that horrifying.
Yeah, like an introduction to sci-fi and horror.
Yeah,
like,
unless it was the Slappy the Clown episode. Fuck all of that.
Oh, God.
Slappy the Clown is a great rip of Chucky.
It is. You know, the talking doll concept goes back further than Chucky, of course, but
it's a
that
direct
time,
yeah.
Chucky's probably the most famous killer doll. You know, when can we get
Slappy the Dummy? Sorry, I said clown. Whatever, fuck it, doesn't matter.
I knew what you were talking about.
I know, but I didn't know if the
clown.
audience. I didn't know if the audience would know. Man, kill me.
We need a new killer doll movie.
We just had Chucky, Curse of Chucky.
Yeah, but
Cult of Chucky.
Cult of Chucky, dude. Chucky's getting so convoluted. It's ridiculous.
Good.
So we need a new killer doll, but I don't know how you do a killer doll without Chucky.
You reboot Slappy.
A Goosebumps standalone of Slappy.
I'm down.
You want to know what brings Slappy alive? The dummy is he has a little calling card in his like suit, and you pull it out, and it's a Latin phrase, and you read it. It like awakens his spirit inside. I'm sure there's more to it. There's actually a lot of R.L. Stine Slappy stories, but what the Latin phrase translates to is "You and I are now one," which is kind of fucking creepy.
Yeah, that is creepy.
Yeah, you and I are now one because he wants to make you a slave.
Slappy was carved out of coffin wood by an ancient sorcerer. When the sorcerer died, he placed his soul inside the dummy, waiting for the day he will awaken again when someone says the magic words, which are written in a card kept in Slappy's pocket. Karu Mari Odana Loma Malanu Karano, which translates to "You and I are one now."
Oh, okay, so yeah, I was pretty close.
Yeah, you were pretty close. This is fantastic, like, memory on your part.
Yeah, I know.
Slappy's nightmare reveals that he has a twin brother, Wally, carved from the same coffin. However, this is only viewed as a dream until Jimmy gets crate with Wally and a set of instructions on set. That's a typo.
Slappy has a brother only in his dream. Is that canon? How many other Slappy stories? I know there's Bride of Slappy.
Yeah, there's Bride of the Living Dummy is what it's called, I believe.
Yeah.
He's referenced in the Give Yourself Goosebumps book and Escape from the Carnival of Horrors. When you were trying... I don't know what this is. When you were trying to escape from the carnival, you run into a tent full of dummies, noticing one that looks like the dummy from that Goosebumps book. The book does,
wink,
the
wink,
book
get
does
it?
not mention Slappy by name, but it is obviously him. Oh, yeah, that big green guy. Oh, the guy with the magic hammer, yeah.
Could you see like some little kid reading that, and then like their face just lights up, and they like audibly go, "That's Slappy." You know, I swear to God. All right, so for the Goosebumps book, there was Night of the Living Dummy 1 through 3. I swear for the TV series, there's only 2 and 3. There's no actual Night of the Living Dummy.
Huh?
Like I swear, because like there's only there's 2 Slappy episodes, and then Bride of the Living Dummy. There's not a 4th one.
It's weird.
I don't think. I know we talked about Goosebumps a lot on way earlier in the podcast. I kind of want to talk about it a little bit more.
We should binge it all.
Binge it?
Yeah.
There's
I think they have episodes.
Yeah, it's all on Netflix. Thank God.
Wow.
Thank God.
Wow.
Yeah.
1
So
out of
one-
10, baby. 1 out of 10.
Yeah, they have every episode of Goosebumps.
That's crazy. Slappy's Nightmare is another one. Revenge of the Living Dummy. Say Cheese and Die Screaming. He makes a brief appearance.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
And Say Cheese and Die for the TV episode starred Ryan Gosling. Yeah, when he was like maybe 14 or something. Because Goosebumps was, of course, a Canadian program.
Yes.
Yeah, and when watching as a
Ryan
kid,
Gosling is Canadian.
and when you're a kid, like, you just assume it's America, but then when you watch it knowing that it's Canadian, you're just like, yeah, this is Canadian as fuck.
I remember there was a scene of Slappy, like, attached to a ceiling fan or something.
Oh,
And he gets, like, swung around the room.
that may have been Night of the Living Dummy 3, because it's about
Do you remember that?
Yeah, because it's kids who's God, hold on, let me collect myself so I don't sound like a complete dumbass. These children, their father is a ventriloquist, and they have they have tons of dummies and puppets and stuff like that. And he acquires Slappy, and Slappy is like arranging dummies in like creepy places. And I think there's one that's hanging from a ceiling fan, but it may not have actually been Slappy. In the first book, Slappy isn't even alive. I don't think. It's like another dummy or something. Look into it for the first Night of the Living Dummy, where it's like The Conjuring or something. It's like a demon using another doll. Or no, Slappy's making it look like it's another doll that's alive, but really it's him, and you don't find out until at the end of the book.
Let me read the...
Yeah,
I'm going to read Night of the Living Dummy to you guys real quick.
The whole
summary.
novel?
Yes, the whole novel.
All right.
Chapter 1. All right. In Night of the Living Dummy, Lindy Powell finds a ventriloquist dummy, Slappy, in a dumpster. Her kids, Chris, get jealous of her. What?
God, what? I wish I found a dummy in a dumpster.
In contrast to what most readers believe, Slappy did talk in the book more than most people think he did. Whoever wrote this is an actual idiot.
Are you on Wikipedia?
I'm on the Goosebumps.wikia.
That's probably why.
I mean, yeah. Alright, the first thing he said without Lindy's involvement was, "Do your eyes move?" when a question about if his eyes moved that was asked by a kid named Ben. This is terribly written.
Is that at a birthday party? Sorry,
Lindy and Chris used to babysit. I don't think so.
Okay.
Soon, Chris gets a dummy of her own, and she names him Mr. Wood. Strange things start happening, and Chris is blamed for all of it. Later, she finds out that it was Lindy all along and gets very upset at her. Chris finally gets a show when she finds Mr. Wood's card with the spell on it. The one spell for Slappy. During the show, Mr. Wood comes to life and sprays everyone with disgusting green slime and also insults Mrs. Berman, the music teacher. Chris and Lindy soon see the dummy moving on his own. After seeing it, they try to kill him by burying him and trying to cut his head off. He is finally killed when he is run over by a steamroller, crushing him to powder after a chase in the rain. When they go back into their home, they find that Slappy is alive and well. His last words in the book, spoken with a throaty growl, are... Let me do the throaty growl. "Hey, slave, is that other guy gone? I thought he'd never leave." That's weird.
See, that's one thing I loved about Goosebumps is that they had like miserable endings or nothing got resolved, and it left you.
That's true.
And it left you traumatized as a kid.
Yeah, it left you with that. It kind of trained you for the ambiguous ending. You know, the not very
evils of
conclusive
society.
Ending. Yeah,
They're like
the open-ended ending. I love it. I love that a lot. Fucking love it. Colin.
Of course, Hayden Christensen is in Night of the Living Dummy 3. He plays Zane, cousin Zane, who's like a huge dork. And like the kids hate him. Like the dad's like, "Your cousin Zane's coming over for the weekend." They're like, "Oh, not Zane."
Let me look. Let me Google this.
And of course, Slappy. Of course, Zane is the first one to be turned into a dummy by Slappy. And it's a dummy with Hayden Christensen's voice going, "Help me."
Oh my god, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It is Zane Odell.
Yeah, dude, cousin Zane. He's like a photographer.
He looks like a total dork.
Oh, yeah, he is. He has a book on like conquering your fears, and like the kid like grabs it from him and reads it out loud, and he mocks him too. He starts laughing. Like, what an asshole. Like, Zane's just trying to overcome his personal anxieties.
So the related topics go in this order: Zane Goosebumps, The Living Dummy, Odell, Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, Hayden Christensen, Ryan Gosling, Star Wars, Original, Episode 2, Mr. Wood.
All the way at the bottom, deep down there. If you're a fan of all these things, then you probably know about Mr. Wood. Is there a Goosebumps like fandom Wikipedia article on Zane?
There might be.
You should try to
Yeah,
find
there
one.
is.
There
There
is.
is, yeah.
What does it say about Zane? Cousin Zane.
Zane is the cousin of Trina and Dan Odell, who appeared in Night of the Living Dummy 3. Zane went with his parents to visit his uncle, Danny, who lived in a very old house with his family. The house looked very frightening to Zane, which gave his cousins, Trina and Dan, the advantage to scare him, since Zane is afraid of many things. First, they made Zane think there were ghosts in the attic by walking around and howling like ghosts. Then they snuck. It says sneaked, but
Sorry, I was fiddling with a lighter.
That's
and I
fine.
dropped it.
they then snuck into his closet and made him think his clothes were dancing. What a fucking idiot if he could do that. And they rigged a pair of his auntie's pantyhose so they cast a ghostly shadow of legs onto Zane's bedroom floor. Zane is an idiot.
Yeah, Zane's a pussy. He's very easily tricked.
Zane was so frightened that he ran out of the house and refused to come back in. And when he left, he told his father, Cal, what a douche, that he never wanted to come back. Wow, what a pussy. Is that the whole episode?
It's different in the episode. In the episode, it's a flashback to where like Zane is like sleeping on a cot, and Trina and Daniel, they're like carrying him outside while he's sleeping. And when he wakes up, he's like out in a field, presumably nearby their house. But there's like a cow right next to him, so he wakes up and there's like a cow like mooing at him, and it traumatized him.
That's comical.
Yeah, and then it turns out that like Zane is the one doing all the tricks with the puppets, and Slappy's just like been like watching this whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But then they see Slappy like sitting there, and Zane's like, "I didn't move him." Yeah, Slappy scared the shit out of me as a kid. I think he scared, a lot of people. Like for a kid's show, like he was like pretty fucking creepy.
So, a little bit of a trivia about Zane. Zane is the third character in the in the Living Dummy books who plays pranks on the main characters other than Slappy. God, there's so many fucking typos. The others being Lindy in the first book and Jed in the second book. Zane is turned into a dummy in the episode, but not in the book. Zane's role in the book and the TV episode are very different. In the book, he doesn't find out the dummies are alive and leaves the house, never wanting to come back. In the TV episode, he finds out, helps his cousins defeat Slappy, and leaves the house, hoping to see his cousins again, because they're friends now.
But at the end of the episode, Zane is like half dummy because he can spin his head around 360.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it ends on.
That's amazing.
Like he's leaving and his head turns around. He's like, "I'll see you later." So I guess there's still a little dummy power in him. That's actually kind of cool in the book. He never realizes that there's a living dummy. There's a really good Twilight Zone episode about a ventriloquist, and his dummy talks to him, and he's like tortured by it, and he's like a raging alcoholic because of his fucking dummy. It has God, what's his name? I don't want to say not Jerry Lewis. He played Charlie in Flowers for Algernon.
Cliff Robertson.
Yes, that's him. Thank you, Jacob. Cliff Robertson is in that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Of course.
I'm glad you knew that.
I don't know why I knew that.
Oh, it's because he was also Uncle Ben in Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That might have been how that may have helped. That may have helped.
Yeah, you're right. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Fun fact, Uncle Ben, the car he drives is the same yellow car from The Evil Dead, which tends to make a brief cameo in every Sam Raimi movie. He always has that car make an appearance.
Is Army of Darkness the second movie
It's
in
the
that franchise?
it's the third one.
Really?
Yeah. At the end of The Evil Dead 2, Ash gets sent back in time.
Really?
Yeah, because like the demons from the Necronomicon, they've basically like created this like portal. Ash gets sucked into it, and he like falls in this like desert area, and all these like knights on horses start approaching him, and they're like, you know, about to like kill him or something, but a fucking Deadeye is flying. Excuse me, a Deadeye is like winged and flying towards Ash, and he has his boomstick, and he shoots the Deadeye and kills him, and all the knights are like hailing him as the new king, and they're like, you know, cheering for him. It just ends with Ash like screaming like no, because he's stuck in time.
That's amazing. Can you explain Evil Dead to me? Everything. Just start from the very beginning and go in on this.
Okay, so there's this cabin in the woods where this like archaeologist went, and he has the Necronomicon, the Book of the Dead.
Okay.
Which he found in like some sort of like Mayan Aztec type temple, tribal temple that he found. And he's in this cabin, and he translates the words in a recording, much like what we're doing now.
Yep, sure.
So Ashley, that's what he's called in the first movie, played by Bruce Campbell. Him and his friends just go up to this cabin because it's like, oh, it's like owned by my uncle's friend, whatever. They're just there to get away and have a good time. They discover the Necronomicon in the basement, and they also discover the tape recorder, and they play it much like Slappy, classic horror trope. When you say the phrase out loud, it awakens the spirits. So spirits are awakened. They turn the friends one by one into demons, otherwise known as Deadites. That's what they're called. And yeah, they drive you mad, and they just want to take over. Shenanigans ensue. Ash has to kill all of his friends. But Evil Dead 2 is interesting because the first 10 minutes is like a remake of the first movie, and it like retcons it.
Really?
Yeah, which when I first saw Evil Dead 2, it pissed me off. Like, I didn't get it. I was like, wait, so like none of that stuff happened, or like it kind of did?
How does it retcon it?
The beginning is Ash and his girlfriend driving up to the cabin. The other two friends aren't there.
Yeah.
And it's literally just like a quick like remake of the first film, you know, Necronomicon, read aloud, he has to kill his girlfriend, stuff like that. And in the Evil Dead, whenever like there's like the Deadite force, it's just like the camera like speeding really fast towards like the house. Because at the end of the first Evil Dead, that's just how it ends, with the camera like speeding up to Ash and he screams. For the first 10 minutes, where it's like kind of this like retcon remake, it actually continues on.
Really?
When, like the camera like is going towards Ash while he's screaming, and it's ridiculous. He's like flying through the woods and everything. Basically at the beginning of Evil Dead 2, Ash is becoming a demon, and he's able to kind of like fight it off because of sunlight. Sunlight, it's kind of like a werewolf thing, I guess, where at like nighttime he becomes a demon or whatever.
Yeah.
He's able to like, he's like turning into a demon on and off throughout the movie, but of course his hand becomes possessed and tries to kill him, so he chainsaws it off. So he doesn't get the chainsaw as a hand until the second movie.
Yeah.
But in the second movie, I believe like the daughter of the guy who made those recordings shows up to the cabin. So more characters are introduced, including this like kind of like white trash hillbilly couple So more characters are introduced in the second movie.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of the lore. It's really complicated. Somehow, with the Necronomicon, creates a portal and he goes back in time and he becomes like the king.
And then how does that get resolved?
He fights the army of darkness. He ends up going back to his own time at the end. So Ash does make it back.
And how does Ash versus Evil Dead fit into all this?
It just picks up later. It's so I never finished the first season. I just thought it was a little too silly. Like, it's really dumb. Like, the reason the Deadites come back is because Ash, of course, has been holding on to the book. And he just got stoned one night and read it aloud.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he was like drunk or high, and he was with this chick, and he just like read it aloud himself. And like,
that's amazing.
Yeah, so I didn't actually finish Ash versus the Evil Dead. I remember not being super into it. I remember the side characters like being really annoying. The supporting characters.
That's amazing, actually. That's hilarious.
Yeah, he like read it aloud himself, and I was just kind of like, what? Why would he be the one who did it? Like, yeah, I guess it's kind of funny, but just kind of stupid.
Yeah.
There was rumors that like this Evil Dead remake that came out back in like 2013 or 2012 was gonna lead up to a sequel to Army of Darkness called Army of Darkness 2.
Oh.
Because I think on like, I don't know if it's in the theatrical cut, but there's like a post-credit scene of like Ash going like groovy or something. But I guess it ended up becoming the TV series instead.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Yeah, so there is like lore to it, which is why I kind of prefer the first one, because it's so much more like simpler.
Yeah.
You know?
See, I like the lore. I like that.
The Book of the Dead. Did you see the new one, the remake?
No. Is it canon?
I don't know. I don't think it is. Actually, technically it is, because the fucking car is at the cabin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, something like that. It's like more of an Easter egg. Can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
And look up Evil Dead remake post-credit scene to see if I'm correct? Because people were like speculating, or it was like announced that there was going to be a sequel to Army of Darkness where it was going to tie in the remake to where it would be canon, but I don't think
Evil
that
Dead
happened.
2013 Ash cameo after the credits?
Yeah.
Let's look and see if this is a thing.
Silence is golden. I think it's just like a glory shot. Yeah, that's the original recording from the first movie. What is it showing?
Nothing.
Yeah, see, that was it. Like, it's just like a glory shot of like, it's Ash.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think they wanted to do a sequel to Army of Darkness, but it just became the TV series. Honestly, I'm not crazy about Army of Darkness. It definitely doesn't have an Evil Dead feel to it. It's more just like a medieval fantasy slapstick comedy that just happens to be in canon. Because it's not really a horror movie, or at least like super bloody. Like, Army of Darkness is like a complete farce.
Yeah.
It's like straight up slapstick, like goofball, surreal humor. Like, literally, there's like a scene where back in time, Ash, he has to find something, some sort of MacGuffin. It might be the Necronomicon, and he has to go to this site, and he has to recite this phrase, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know what the phrase is?
What?
It's just Klaatu Verata Nikto, from the day the earth stood still.
Really?
Yeah. And the whole joke is that Ash, like, doesn't remember what the fuck the phrase was. So he'll start, like, saying it. He'll be like, Klaatu, and then he'll start, like, coughing.
That is pretty slapstick.
Yeah.
I'm watching the Evil Dead scene from Spider-Man 2. You know what I'm
with
talking about?
Doc Ock's
Yeah,
arms
yeah.
murdering everyone.
Mostly the chainsaw.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
the
like
chainsaw shows up.
the chainsaw, and then like it zooms in quickly on the guy's face.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to Ash, just like chainsaw grabs it, starts it up. That's a great scene in Spider-Man 2. It's very intense.
It is very intense. It's
a little out of place, but it still works, you know? It's like, here's a horrifying scene. Great intro for the villain, though.
honestly, yeah. It is a horrifying scene. I'm watching it now. It's very
the scene where like the
it's
ladies,
very Sam Raimi.
yeah, the scene where the lady's nails are like clawing at the ground. She's
Yeah.
like peeling up like the metal or like linoleum or whatever. That was always pretty disturbing.
Yeah.
I want Sam Raimi to make another movie. It's been a while, and like I want him to make like a cool horror movie or something, which he did with Drag Me to Hell, which I never really saw, but that's kind of like a spiritual successor to The Evil Dead.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you've ever heard of Drag Me to Hell. I don't remember who's in it, but that came out in like 2009 or something. I want a new Evil Dead movie made by Sam Raimi. Because the remake was okay. It was kind of like cute in a way, where it's just like, oh, that's cute. Look, they're like, they're pretending to be the Evil Dead, but I want the real thing, and not Ash versus Evil Dead. Don't even put Bruce Campbell in it. I just want Sam Raimi directing it. All right, put Bruce Campbell in like a supporting role. Have him be like a Han Solo. Have Ash die. Yeah, that's right. I said it. Kill Ash.
Nah.
Have his son kill Ash. His son who's possessed by a deadite.
Fuck off.
And he's trying to like take over the world.
Absolutely not. I think that wait, has Sam Raimi directed any of the Ash vs. Evil Dead episodes?
Yeah, I think he directed the first episode.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been involved. Him and his brother. I know they're like
George Raimi.
Yeah, I think that's him. He's in
Really? I don't know what his name is.
Ted Raimi.
Ted Raimi.
Yeah, he's also J. Jonah Jameson's assistant in Spider-Man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's one of them.
That's crazy.
Because there's the big black dude.
Yeah,
who
that's
looks
Robbie
like
Robertson.
Yeah, him. And then his other assistant.
I know who you're talking about.
Ted
The fucking goofball.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy who looks like Sam Raimi.
Yeah, exactly. Because those Raimis,
Yeah.
They got that Raimi face.
They do. They have the old Raimi face.
The last movie,
the Raimi chin.
The last movie that Sam Raimi directed was Oz the Great and Powerful, and that was such like an unnecessary like cash grab movie for Disney to make, where it's like, oh, Wizard of Oz is in public domain. Let's make our version of it with James Franco. And it was okay,
Yeah.
But he hasn't directed a movie since.
Isn't that canon with... Is that like technically canon in the Wizard of Oz verse?
I mean, yeah, it's a prequel.
If you want it to be, yeah.
If you, it doesn't... I think saying it's canon is a bit strong.
Yeah.
But it's still its own thing. It's about Oz the man. It was more like a technical wizard of like practical illusions, which you learn, of course, in the classic movie, that it's just a man behind the curtains pulling all the levers and stuff.
Yeah.
Which Oz the Great and Powerful does do, and I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, oh, so he is a wizard, just not like a magical one. It's like the, optical wizard. It's also another movie where James Franco just sticks out.
Yeah. He's really not. I mean, like...
He's not a chameleon unless he's in Tommy Wiseau makeup. Tommy Wiseau prosthetics.
Have you heard the James Franco news? That he's basically a terrible person.
Oh, the allegations?
Yeah.
I mean, that was already a thing a few years ago where he was like
texting
talking
like an underage girl or something.
Some like 16-year-old or 17-year-old fan or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that one guy put him on Spotlight on like his late night show. We were talking about this with like Garen, I think, when me, you, and David were all hanging out.
Recently you put him on the Spotlight?
It was when we were all hanging out in here, and I think Garen pulled it up on his laptop, and he was like, dude, he's just like putting him on Spotlight.
Pretty much. Spotlight, the film?
Dude, I have a prediction for the Oscars.
Okay.
Someone in like an acceptance speech is gonna get outed on TV.
That would be fucking
And
rad.
they're gonna be in the audience too.
That would be actually so rad. That'd be fucking awesome.
Wouldn't that be? Dude,
It would be.
it could happen.
It could.
Because think of it, Natalie Portman, she had her little chance of like making a statement, being like, here are your all male director nominees at the Golden Globes. What if it's Natalie Portman who does it again?
That'd be epic. Natalie Portman's cool. I like Natalie Portman.
She doesn't give a fuck.
No, she doesn't.
Apparently she doesn't even keep her Oscar out on like display.
I mean, why would you?
I mean, presumably you win an Oscar, you have some sort of office, set it up somewhere. But like, no, like she can't, like doesn't like look at it or anything. It's like kept away.
Really?
Yeah, like, dude, if you won an Oscar, you'd have it like on your fucking shelf next to your bed for like the next like 3 years or something.
I mean, that's true, but that's
Yeah.
because I'm a materialist.
Yeah, I guess Natalie Portman isn't.
I guess she's not.
No, she doesn't give a fuck about anything. She's like, I'm talented, and fuck you.
Whoops. I dropped that.
It's okay.
I fucked that up.
At least you didn't drop the ball like Konami when they canceled Silent Hills.
Oh, God.
Yep, I'm still not over that.
Silent Hills? What is that?
Silent Hills. All right, so Silent Hill, the video game franchise.
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima, one of the most innovative game designers and directors ever, probably.
Sure.
He was attached to make the new Silent Hills games with Guillermo del Toro doing all the writing.
Really?
Yeah, and Norman Reedus was going to star in it. There was a demo put out called PT on the PlayStation Network, and you could play it, and it was fucking amazing. Like,
Really?
It was horrifying. Like, dude, like, me, Hunter, I think Nathan, my friend Cal, we all played it, dude, and literally, like, jumping and, like, screaming. Because
Really?
it's like first person, and basically, you wake up in a room, you walk down a hallway, when you get to the basement, it restarts, and it's a loop.
Oh, shit.
But creepier and creepier shit keeps happening. I honestly recommend watching like some sort of like let's play walkthrough. Maybe
Yeah.
one that doesn't have commentary, because it really was like fucked up psychological. There's like this radio on in the hallway that's like telling you about this like man who like butchered his wife and kids. Presumably you're in his house.
Oh.
And like it was amazing. The graphics were like photorealistic. And once you finished this playable teaser, it was revealed that your character is Norman Reedus.
Oh.
And then not only that, it's announced that this is like the new Hideo Kojima project. And not only that, but it's the new fucking Silent Hill game. So, it was blowing people's minds. And Guillermo del Toro, was doing, I think, concept writing of it for the story, because him and Kojima are good friends.
Mhm.
So you also had Junji Ito doing like design work for all the fucked up stuff. Who's a manga artist who does horror. He's probably the most famous, kind of like Clive Barker, but does manga.
Yeah.
Let's put it like that. So you had like this dream team of like badass people with a fucking badass franchise like Silent Hill.
Yeah.
It was basically a dream project. We already played this super innovative and super terrifying demo teaser, and then you weren't really hearing anything about the game, and then it's like, rumors going around, and then like, it got canceled.
That sucks.
Dude,
I'm watching this right now, the gameplay. It's
Well-
pretty eerie.
Is it the actual gameplay or is it the concept trailer?
This is actual gameplay.
Okay. Dude, like that was like dropping the ball fucking big time. Announcing that this game got canceled because it had everything going for it.
Yeah.
And then there was like rumors that like, it's just an elaborate hoax.
Really?
Yeah, people were thinking that it was an elaborate hoax, that it was said to be canceled on purpose. There was a whole video on it, and like it was a cool concept. And then Kojima announced that he was working on his new game called Death Stranding, which has Norman Reedus in it and Guillermo del Toro. There's a CGI del Toro
Really?
in his new game.
That's
and
weird.
This new game looks fucking bizarre. Like, there's an 8-minute trailer for it, and it's basically like a movie.
Weird.
Yeah, I recommend you looking at the Death Stranding trailer. I think you would actually be pretty interested in it, honestly.
This itself looks pretty interesting. This demo that you could play, like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
PT.
Yeah, this is weird.
I stand by that this demo is like one of the most amazing things I ever played on my PS4. Why? Because not only was it like terrifying, but it looked like next gen. Like those graphics, you couldn't do that.
This is fantastic
Yeah,
looking, yeah.
Yeah, that type of game engine, you couldn't do that on a 360.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, just this dream team, and they never made it.
This is weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucking me up a little bit. Yeah.
Dude, I couldn't play it alone, because I still have this downloaded too.
Really?
Yeah, because you can't play the demo anymore, but I still got it. But I'm like stuck at a halfway point. It's almost like a puzzle, because you're trying to figure out like how to progress through this like looping hallway.
Yeah.
God damn, dude, there's some freaky stuff in that game. I remember when I first booted it up and I played it for like 10 seconds, I turned it off. I was like, I'm not playing this alone.
It doesn't look that bad, but I am watching it silently.
Yeah. Like when you're playing it and like you're more immersed into it, and just like the sound design and everything, it was amazing. Silent Hills.
There's like words flashing across the screen in a different language.
Yeah.
It's weird. I think it's French.
At one point, the game purposely crashes, and the whole idea was that like when the final game came out, the game would be self-aware.
What?
Yeah, really, really bizarre stuff.
Wait, what do you mean self-aware?
Like the game knew you were playing it.
That's weird.
The only thing that I can think of is that Kojima, who's famous for Metal Gear Solid, I believe in the first one, there's a boss who, during dialogue cutscenes, like text, I think, he references other games that you, the player, had played, because the game could like access your memory card files and look at like data. So that's kind of like the idea of like the game being self-aware.
Gotcha.
Which for game design, that's really cool.
It is.
So Hideo Kojima, he's really like the only like game director who has any like credibility and like weight to his name. What did you just see?
I just saw like a person in the light, like in the game, not in real life. Don't chill. Oh man, there's cockroaches everywhere. Oh, that's
did you see her face popping through the door?
No.
You're looking freaked out watching this.
I'm fixing to shut this shit off. Dude, I don't want to watch this anymore.
Dude, imagine playing this.
I can't. I don't want to imagine playing it.
It was horrifying, but it was amazing.
Oh fucking shit! All right, I'm turning this off, man. Fuck this. Fuck all this. Okay, we're not doing this. All right. Jesus Christ. I want to look at the comments just because.
Yeah, I mean, if you read the comments, there probably will be a lot of people who are like, "Oh my god! Like, I still can't believe that Konami canceled this game." And it's speculated to why it happened. There was obviously some sort of fallout between Kojima and the company Konami.
That sucks.
Yeah, so I refuse to buy any Konami products.
Someone just goes, "Can you imagine this with an Oculus Rift?"
Oh my god.
That would be no. I don't want to. No. That looks horrifying. Oh man.
But if you want to hear something interesting that happened because of Silent Hills being canceled, not Death Stranding, the new Hideo Kojima game, but another horror video game franchise, Resident Evil, when they released their 7th game, guess what? It looked like that.
Really?
Yeah, it was like first person and had like a same like, you know, you could just tell. Yeah. Because Resident Evil was rarely ever first person, only in one spin-off game. So, you know, Capcom was like, guys, Konami just fucked up. Let's try to do what they were doing with first person. And the game turned out to be pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, not as creepy or as like creative and innovative as what Silent Hills could have been. But God, fuck, I can't believe it got canceled. God damn it, Jacob.
That's pretty weird. Like
Yeah.
that was a weird concept for that.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, like, I don't see where it can really go other than like
That's the thing. We won't know because the game probably wouldn't have been similar to that. Like we don't know. We don't know if it would have been first person. It would have probably been third person if I were to guess. Because they displayed that you're playing as a Norman Reedus motion capture the whole time, which is interesting. Kojima and Reedus are good friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's funny. Guillermo del Toro, he's been kind of open about his disappointment on that project being canceled.
Really?
And he says that he will never work on a video game project again because he's tried doing it like several times and they all get canceled. So he's just like, I'm not ruining anyone else's lives anymore trying to make video games.
That's crazy, actually, that he says that.
Yeah, he's been very open about it.
But isn't he in the new Kojima game?
Yes, he's in Death Stranding, which is more sci-fi, not like straight horror.
Mm-hmm.
But he does have an appearance. Oh, Mads Mikkelsen is also in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like Kojima's like straight up like trying to turn a video game into a movie, basically.
Oh.
Which,
I like this guy. I like the sound of this guy.
He's a true innovator for video games.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was never crazy about Metal Gear Solid, I still have a lot of respect for him for what he tries to do. It feels like he wants to be a filmmaker, and it's like, why don't you just direct movies? But I guess he just always had a background in like coding, you know?
Yeah.
Like he was good at like working with computers and programs, so he's like, well, this is what I'm doing, and I also love movies. Back when I was on Twitter, I followed him, and he always like posted like new Blu-rays he got. And one thing about like his schedule, it was like every day, wake up, go to work on the game, blah 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 blah. Watch one movie a day, and that always stuck to me. He watches one movie a day
that he's never seen, I imagine.
Probably. Like I know he was like tweeting about like Blade Runner 2049, all that stuff. So he's a huge movie nerd, I guess.
Okay. Man, I wish I had that kind of time.
Yeah.
Watch a movie a day.
Yeah. But when I leave, I recommend you watching the 3 Death Stranding trailers because I think you would be intrigued, to say the least.
Gotcha. Well, you know how I love sci-fi, and you said it's a little bit more sci-fi.
Yeah, this looks like kind of like hardcore sci-fi. Very unique. I'm not going to tell you anything about it except the people who are in it.
And it's Mads Mikkelsen, Norman Reedus, and Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah. I'm assuming del Toro only, he's probably not in the game too much.
I hope he's the main character.
You hope you're playing as Guillermo del Toro?
Yes.
I think Death Stranding, it's probably not going to come out maybe like November at the earliest, but probably not for another year. Because games take a while to develop, unfortunately.
Yeah. But you know what? You gotta make them good.
Yeah, you really do.
You can't just shit these things out every year, you know?
Mm.
This isn't a Call of Duty game.
Yeah, it takes a while, But it, as a game fan, it kind of sucks. Because, like, take me and David, for example. We're big fans of the Kingdom Hearts series. And there's 1, 2, which were both on PlayStation 2. Those are the only ones that I played through all the way. There's, like, a ton of them on, like, DS and stuff like that. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 is announced. And it was announced, like, we got the first announcement trailer 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, and it's coming out this year. So we've had to wait 5 years. And it's almost like, why not just, like, wait to announce it with, like, a trailer?
Yeah, I feel like a wait this long almost kills your hype.
Yeah, that's what I'm alluding to. Like, now I'm just kind of like, oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out. Whereas 5 years ago, if you would have told me Kingdom Hearts was coming out that year with the announcement trailer, they're like, yeah, we're done developing the game. We can start advertising it and like building hype. But it's like, oh, 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's about how long it would take. Just kind of like that. I think like with Call of Duty and everything, just kind of cheapens it
Yeah,
for me.
basically they just like recycle the game engine so they can develop games fairly really quickly because they're not really tweaking too much.
Yeah,
just like,
with just like different skins basically, and
Yeah.
like a shit story mode that's really the graphics are nothing to write home about. The
Yeah.
graphics for a Call of Duty game haven't really changed since World at War.
I would agree with that. Like, there hasn't been huge innovations of like any art style change or
No.
just graphics in general.
The
Like,
fact that we can go back and play World at War and be like, man, this looks great.
yeah, it's still
for
very
its time.
still very playable.
Yeah, it probably looks actually better than the new ones. I would say World at War looks great. I don't think COD 4 looks good.
Well, the thing is with these games from the 7th generation, you can like remaster them and like, clean them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Think of this like a 360 game being like a DVD, and then if it's remastered, which they are doing, it's almost like
Blu-ray.
it's like a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So, in a way, you are right because you can buy the first Modern Warfare for PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah,
and
you
play
can.
that. I saw that.
But you can also use your old discs and play them.
For the Xbox One, you can,
Mhm.
because that console has backwards compatibility with most Xbox games. The PS4 is just like, nah, fuck that. You're gonna have to rebuy everything. And I'm like, oh, yay. Thanks, Sony.
Well, I was more like talking about like, I don't think they have backwards compatibility with World at War, probably. I don't know. I knew they had it with Black Ops, but Black Ops I didn't really care for
World
too
at
much.
War?
Yeah, like the 5, like
yeah,
the
like-
5th one.
Yeah, that one wasn't really the most popular Call of Duty, because that was coming right off of Modern Warfare, and I'm assuming people just wanted more of that. And then it's like, oh, we're going back to the World War II thing.
Yeah, but that was when like it was like Activision had Treyarch
Mm-hmm.
and Infinity Ward.
Wouldn't they like switch companies?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you're developing one game, and then we have another company developing another Call of Duty game, and that's how they get them out yearly, I think.
Yeah, because they would spend 2 years, and the games were better when they did that. But now I think it's like Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward all the time.
Yeah.
I think
And
maybe Treyarch, maybe it's Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and Sledgehammer like all together now. Or it might be just Activision.
I haven't played a new Call of Duty game in a while. I know a lot of fans like Black Ops a lot.
Black Ops had a good. I will say this: the multiplayer is really not different in any of them. There's a cool little couple things that are different. I have played it with Jimmy mostly. Just it's a cool game to just sit around and play with your friends, but like, it's not really for anything like deep or anything. But like the campaign modes of the Black Ops games were pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, sort of like there's like some twists in there that are pretty solid. Like they're actually good twists. In like the third one, I think it's like all in your head like the whole time, or like you're hallucinating while you're dying.
Yeah, in Black Ops, wasn't there like a thing where it's like you're strapped to a chair being
Yeah.
interrogated or something?
Yeah, and like the whole time you're actually being interrogated by like an American who's like, I don't know the exact storyline, but like then you get like they break in, like your team takes you back and like you're good, and like some of your memories are like fake, some of them are real, and like you don't know which are which. It's really weird. Whereas like the Modern Warfare story just had kind of a pretty basic terrorist kill.
I don't know if you've ever heard of a game called Spec Ops: The Line, where it was released and people thought it was like a Call of Duty clone, but apparently it had like a really like fucking like deep storyline about like the cruelties of war and stuff. Apparently it was like a hidden gem because people were like, oh, it's just like a Call of Duty,
Knockoff.
Yeah, knockoff, another like war shooter. But then like over time it kind of developed like a cult following, and apparently it had like a really solid story to it.
Damn.
It's funny because Call of Duty, in my opinion, is like the pinnacle of like basic dude video game.
See, I agree. Yeah, I agree, and I used to love it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, oh damn, like I used to like that game.
Don't get me wrong, like playing like Modern Warfare 2, like split screen with like friends in the same room, not online, but in the same room, fucking like so much fun.
See, we always had a good time playing online. Like that's what we did.
Oh yeah.
and like but like it was like 6 of us, and we'd all play in like on a
Yeah.
huge team and like be talking, and it was great. Like that was fun.
Yeah, so but
You know,
I'm
I
not
think
gonna
that
not gonna disregard Call of Duty because there is a lot of fun to be had out of it. But me
Yeah.
personally, I would probably only play Modern Warfare 2. And if they bring that one back to PS4, I'd be interested in going online playing that.
yeah.
But as far as any of the new ones, like all the Advanced Warfare bullshit,
See
that was
all that.
stupid.
I think
yeah.
it's just like a grab at Halo, kind of, and it's like Halo is Halo. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Halo. I love Halo. Halo's awesome. Did you ever play a Halo game?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played tons of Halo.
Halo's one of those ones where I think that as they got more into the franchise, at least for the first 3, they got better. Like Halo 3 is the best Halo game, in my opinion. It's the most well balanced. It's got a great campaign. It's got a great ending to the main story. I don't care about what's happening in it now. Couldn't tell you what's happening. I know they're doing things with Forerunners.
Halo is not the juggernaut that it used to be.
No.
When the first 3 Halos came out, that was like a big deal. Like it was like a fucking event.
Yeah.
I was never super into the story. I played through most of the campaigns, but it was always about like playing Slayer, you know.
Yeah, Team Slayer.
Remember when the Neil Blomkamp Halo movie, they were like, yeah, we're going to get it made.
And they did like a trailer, like a
Mhm.
gameplay for it. It looked great.
I bet
Like-
I bet it would have been cool, but do you think Neil Blomkamp, as his directorial debut, being the Halo movie, was the way to do it? Because I'm pretty sure this was before District 9.
You know what? If they did that, he might have made a gem. Because I
Yeah.
think District 9, Neil Blomkamp, District 9, Neil Blomkamp is the best Neil Blomkamp that's existed.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees. That's out of his 3 major movies, without a doubt. District
Yeah.
9 is the one that everyone enjoys the most.
Yeah. I think he could have made something actually spectacular.
Peter Jackson wanted to produce it, but I would have liked to have seen him direct it, but I guess he was kind of tired of doing big epic movies for the time being.
Yeah.
You know, he did all the Lord of the Rings movies and King Kong.
I like that in Neil Blomkamp's like the I think Ridley Scott was in talks for a bit too to do it. He was in talks for a second, which thank God.
You think you'd just be like, yeah, I can do it. I can direct this. No problem at all.
Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know. But
That would be his attitude towards it. They're just like, yeah, I can direct this.
you're right.
I
But
can.
I like that the test footage, it had like some Marines, it had, you know, like the I guess they look like kind of colonial Marines from Alien a little. But they look like, you know, they have their helmets on and they're just getting fucking tossed around by these
Yeah.
huge aliens. And then like you have the ODSTs in the gameplay, or in the test footage, which I was like, wow, this looks awesome. Like whoever directed this knows the lore. Like, you know, and the ODSTs have like cool tech and stuff like that. I really like ODST, by the way.
I never played ODST.
ODST was cool.
Yeah.
It offered like kind of a different type of gameplay because you've been playing as like a superhuman the entire time.
Yeah, Spartan.
Yeah, and it's like here's what a really athletic guy would look like in this universe, and like, you know, it works. And like it alludes to Master Chief in the test footage, and like it's pretty solid shit. Like I remember like, wow, this is brutal. Like this looks brutal.
Cast Carl Urban as Master Chief.
You know what? That'd be fine.
Master Chief is like the only one of his kind, right?
I
In
think
Halo, is like a Spartan soldier.
Yeah, I think now in the new games there's some more. They've made more, which I guess makes sense because they weren't just like, we're just gonna discontinue this shit. But like,
Well, I guess Halo Reach, those would have been like the first Spartan.
I think
warriors.
those were last. Those are the last of their kind.
Before Master Chief.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Master Chief is the last, but like Noble 6, I think is what it's called. They all get killed on Reach, which I think they talked about it. No, Halo Reach isn't even canon anymore. They decanonized it, I think, because it's more of a what if scenario. Because there are things that, like, in the previous Halo games set up where Master Chief was at the time, and then, like, they're like, no, actually, he was on Reach. He was just in a different part or something. Or, like, he was in cryo sleep during it on Reach, and he managed to get away.
Oh,
in time.
he was a part of them?
No, he wasn't a part of them. I think like in the extended, we're gonna call it the extended universe of Halo, the EUH. So like in the EUH, they were like, he's this place. He's on a different planet. He's on wherever. Doesn't matter where he is. And then in Halo Reach, they're like, all right, well, everything's over. Everything's done with. And then there's a scene that's a ship is leaving Reach, like just in time for it to be I guess like for the planet to fall to the Covenant or whatever. And you see Master Chief on the ship and like asleep. And so they're like, oh, this makes no sense in comparison to the canon. So I guess they're like, all right, well, that wasn't real. That part of that wasn't real.
And
matter.
They never show his face. Isn't there
He's like an old man.
Isn't there like rumors or something about like if you beat the game in a certain mode or something, like it takes off his mask and you see like a tentacle like fall out or something? I think that was just like rumors. It was never actually real.
Well, at the end of Halo 4, if you beat it on Legendary, he takes off his mask and you see his eyes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they're old and wrinkly.
Ew.
Like it would make sense. His body's been put through a lot of stress. He's been in that suit in the canon, even though his suit changes throughout each game, they're basically retconning the last one. So they're like, all right, well, he's not changing suits. They all just look the same. Like the suit in Halo 3 is the suit he was wearing in Halo 2 is the suit he was wearing in Halo 1. Like,
yeah.
For whatever reason, they're just like, all right, it looks different each game, but it's still the same one. Even though it's like the Mark 7 armor or something in the Halo 3
you know a lot more about Halo lore than I do. I just know it's like an alien war. There's like those weird things called the Flood.
The Flood is like a disease that the Covenant or someone like armors or something, and like
it's only in the first game, right?
It's in the third too.
Oh, really?
It's in the third.
I know there's like grunts and brutes.
Yeah.
There's I'm trying to remember the best weapons.
The assault rifle is a classic. The Needler is it's pretty solid.
The plasma pistol, I always hated that one.
Yeah, I always liked the battle rifle. I will say the pistol that you get in the game, like Halo 3, terrible. The pistol you get in Halo Reach, great. It's like a primary weapon.
The rocket launcher is always fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
Shoot at the ground near them, blow them the fuck off.
You know what? Halo 3's custom games, some of the most fun I've ever had, like playing online. That was so much fun. There are just like courses, obstacle courses, and like you were doing the obstacle course, someone had to snipe you off of it. Like, you know what I mean?
For these online games, were you a big fan of like the massive maps or like the smaller ones?
Smaller.
What's the one called? Like Beaver Ridge, Beaver Creek? I think Beaver Creek. It's in the first game. That was always a favorite of mine.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember Halo 3, Valhalla or something. There's a Valhalla map. It was great. I remember it. I remember every detail of that map.
I remember there was like an ice map.
In the third one?
Yeah.
There was, yeah. There was a
snowy
map. It was actually I never really played it very much.
When you brought up that like the 6 members in Reach all die at the end of the game, I was like, oh, how Rogue One. I mean, to bring that up.
It pretty much is. Reach's campaign is sort of lackluster. I really like the first. There's the first mission on it's great.
I think I played the first mission too. I played mainly online though. It was all about that jetpack.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I liked the first mission of Reach because it was like like a farmer. They said there's a creature in the field, so like it's kind of mysterious and like obviously it's Covenant, but like so you go and like hunt it down and then you're on the next mission. It's good. It's got a good. That first mission's pretty solid. The rest of it after that, I just kind of lose interest, and it's like, it kind of sucks.
Want to hear something funny that I associate Halo Reach with?
Yes.
Is that I used to rip CDs onto my 360, and I would just be like playing Halo Reach online and like listening to Coheed and Cambria.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and it was like when I was first getting into them, because like I'd bought their albums, so like a way of like me listening through their albums was like playing Halo Reach.
So, do you somewhat associate Coheed with Halo Reach?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's fun.
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's cool.
Oh my god, dude. Speaking of like listening to like music that was ripped onto my 360, I remember like playing Dark Souls and like because those games have like super brutal like boss fights.
Yeah.
And, like I'd play like fucking like Dillinger Escape playing over it just to like get you like super like pumped, and it fit so perfectly and like good memories, good times with the 360.
Oh yeah. You want to go in and wrap this thing up?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
I got nothing
probably
else
should.
to talk about. So
Yep.
today was kind of a lazy pod day.
Yeah, it was. It was just kick back, have a good time.
Yeah,
Love yourself.
Talk some Night of the Living Dead, some memes.
Night of the Living Dummy.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dummy, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Speaking of Night of the Living Dead, it's getting a Criterion Collection release on Blu-ray.
You gonna buy it?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's about time we get a decent Blu-ray of Night of the Living Dead.
That's cool. Speaking of Blu-rays, where can we find you?
You can add me on Facebook. We can be friends. You can send me a message if you want. I'm also on Snapchat, so you can send me silly selfies of you and your friends.
What's your Snapchat?
Colin K. Goody, all lowercase.
And Goody spelled Goode.
Yep, that's correct.
That's crazy. And Colin spelled Collin.
Yeah, the K, just the letter, not Kay.
Yeah, like Agent K from Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? K? They call him K, right?
Yeah, that was his name.
Yeah. That's great. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, and also Snapchat, I guess, and Facebook. My Twitter and Instagram are at Jacob's Wetsuit. My Facebook is Jacob Snyder. You can just look me up. Snyder spelled as you can see it on the podcast.
Yeah.
What else did I say? Yeah, Snapchat, which is Jacob_Snyder. And yeah, it's pretty much everywhere you can find me. If you have any questions or anything for the show, we will read them on the show. We don't get very many questions, but we'll be happy to read yours if you want to send one in.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like posting on our Facebook page, like, hey, leave us a question in the comments, and we'll read it on the next podcast. But it kind of reeks of desperation.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
You could send a tweet, maybe.
Yeah.
Because
we did that one time.
Yeah, we did. And we got
Did
some
a
people
bit
to
of-
respond.
Bit of a Twitter Q&A. Yeah.
Yeah, give us some feedback.
Yeah, give us some feedback. You can email the show at fppcreative@gmail.com. That's pretty much it. And you can also look at our Facebook page, the Snyder-Collin Podcast Facebook page.
With a new cover photo.
Yes, a new cover photo for everything, really. We do have a new cover photo. Our faces are on it.
Yeah, with our shirts labeled correctly.
Yeah,
so you know
labeling who
which
we
one is
are.
which.
Yep. We thought about switching shirts, but then we didn't. So
I'm glad we didn't.
yeah, I'm glad we did too. Or we didn't. Glad we did it the way we did it. I like it. We look good.
Yeah, who knows what we're looking at?
Who does know?
Is it a body?
Who knows? It could be a body.
Could be a body.
Let's not explain it. We'll just leave it. Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening again. We really appreciate you guys listening. If you want to do us a favor, you can just download the episode. That really helps us out. That boosts our numbers up a little bit. Gives us. Want to get over to 2,000 downloads? That'd be pretty cool. We're nearing it. I think we're about 200 away. We'll probably hit it this week, but not a big deal. I don't know. We'll see. But so yeah, thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate you guys, all of you. I guess any last words, Colin, before this episode 28 is over?
You and I are one now.
Wow. Go for violence. Have a good one, guys.
See you next week.
Adios.
Hey, aren't I the one who says that?
I don't know. I don't know what you say. Say it then.
Adios.
There you go.